drafting a potential replacement. The reports mainly that they explored trading him, and he said, quote, "I know what's going on, but it is what it is. I'm good staying with them. I'm chilling." That was from Deebo.
Yeah, I mean, how do you take that, Evan? I mean, I don't know what he's supposed to say, but I do wonder. I mean, Deebo's a professional, and they paid him. But do you think he's somewhere thinking, you guys got me, this is my last year in Sanford? Like, we can't mind read, but.
I mean, this is one of those where, I mean, honestly, like, we've played a lot of sound the last week, and like you said, there were a couple things you didn't like that you've heard. To me, that's just like, I don't have to read into anything that Deebo tweeted. Like, he's not happy. Is that an overstatement? Like, there's no way Deebo Samuel's happy. I'm good staying there. I'm good staying with them.
Well, maybe that was because that Friday.
You were talking about reading into something. I'll read. Oh, you're just chilling? Yeah. I know what's going on. It is what it is.
It is what it is the most passive-aggressive thing you could ever say. It never means anything good.
I kind of agree with you.
But we can all agree nothing's going to pop off now. Like, he's going to play this year with his team.
Yeah. How's his attitude going to be?
Well,
I mean, and I'm not.
B.A. Baracus, yeah, he could have a bad attitude.
Well, I mean, we talked about the fact that, how's Deebo Samuel? Yeah, how's Deebo Samuel feel about the 49ers essentially drafting his replacement? He's like, I know what's going on. It is what it is. That to me is like, hey, business is business. I know they tried to move me. I know they're probably going to deal with me at the end of the season. I know this guy's like, he's not dumb. I mean, it's all right out there as far as I'm concerned. It's all been very transparent. Everybody knows the 49ers are probably going to have to move off Deebo Samuel at the end of the next year. And he obviously knows it too.
Right. That wouldn't sit well with me. I'd be irritated, especially when my name had come up, Steiny, about being traded.
I got to tell you something about that, my feeling on that. And it's like, okay, maybe Deebo's not. It's like, it's pro sports. Like, it's pro sports. They drafted a wide receiver. Why? Well, because some think Deebo Samuel's been a little injury prone over the last 3 or 4 years.
All right.
Because he makes an exorbitant amount of money, and as they move forward and having to pay Brock Purdy, they're going to have to start thinking about who they're paying. It's like, it's nothing personal. It's the nature of pro sports. Look what happened in Atlanta.
Well,
they drafted a quarterback, and they have Kirk Cousins. It's like, we see this kind of thing all the time with teams preparing for a year or two down the line. And what about
ego, Steiny? What about ego?
That's my point is that tweet by Diana Rossini, or however Deebo's feeling right now, I don't kind of care. I got to assume he's still going to come in and
be a pro.
Exactly. Yeah. Marlon's in Concord. Hey, Marlon, how you doing, man? What's going on?
Hey guys, doing all right. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm calling in just to kind of touch on the Deebo situation from an angle of saying that I think Deebo's value was at its highest a couple of years ago. Like, we know what Deebo brings to the table and being a home run hitter, but I think since Christian McCaffrey came to town, his value's actually gone down because he never really was the WR1. You know, he acts more like a running back, and he is that home run hitter, but Christian McCaffrey is all that and then some. So I think drafting this guy is sort of an insurance policy if Deebo gets hurt, but I think his value peaked a year or two ago, and he'll be valuable on another team.
Yeah,
so that's my take.
Appreciate you, Marlon. I mean, isn't that a sign of a team that's improving? And here's what I mean.
Yeah, tell me.
When they signed Deebo Samuel to the contract that they signed him to, what was he?
An all-pro.
He was probably their number one option at that point. That was the year he was having to run the ball out of the backfield and catch the ball from the wide receiver
position. He did it all.
That's right. He was their, let's say, number one option. Yeah, well, guess what? They acquired McCaffrey.
All right.
So right off the bat, Deebo's now the number two option. So now you're paying a number two option, whatever you're paying him, $24 million going into this year. Okay, then what happened since Deebo Samuel signed that contract? Brandon Aiyuk emerged.
That's a good word.
And now Brandon Aiyuk might be the second option, and Deebo Samuel's now the third option.
And I think that might rub Deebo wrong.
Well,
and I get it.
Right. And you know what rubs the Niners wrong? That they're paying a third option, $24 million.
I totally understand that, Steiny.
So situations change. I don't think it's anything personal. And I think if you look at the big picture, it shows you how the 49ers are improved.
But any competitor, like I'm just thinking of what Spadoni said,
then suck it up and play.
Yeah. But that tweet is
have a great year.
Yeah, that tweet is, he could kind of see the handwriting on the wall, and he's probably irritated as hell, but,
From the 925, Deebo makes way too much money, and he got a great contract for himself. He should expect now to be cut loose.
All right.
I mean, to me,
we don't know that to be fact, but if we were all betting right now, they're picking Aiyuk over Deebo, and he knows it.
The bottom line is, what if I said this? Here's proof the 49ers have gotten better. They've gone from Deebo Samuel being their number one option offensively to their number 3 option. He's still really good, but now he's their third option. Well, that means they got 2 guys who are now better than him as a 1 or 2. So that's why your offense is so good. It's just like in the NBA. If when Andrew Wiggins is on the Timberwolves and he's your best player, you're probably just okay. But he comes to Golden State and all he has to be is their 3rd or 4th best player. Then he's great.
Well, he's good with that, Wiggins, we think, just by his personality. But a guy like Deebo, you can already tell he's agitated.
Well, the interesting part about Deebo was during his contract negotiations, wasn't his big concern how much he was being asked to run the ball.
So we thought. We never really heard him address that.
Well, I think
they did him a favor by bringing in McCaffrey if that was his thing.
Well, exactly. So I guess what I'm saying is, what's his gripe? Like, he might not have wanted to run the ball as much as they had asked him to run the ball 2 or 3 years ago when he was unbelievable, and he wanted to get paid, not just, obviously the 49ers wanted to, let's just say, emphasize his running over pass catching, and they wanted to pay him more like a running back, whatever. However that worked out, Deebo Samuel, I think we can garner, wasn't crazy about how often he was being asked to run the football.
And you just asked a question. I want to take a crack at it. What's his gripe, Steiny? Is the fact that it looks like he's the odd man out, but he has to endure another season.
Now, when you say endure, what is he going into the torture chamber?
No, he has to show up to work knowing the clock's ticking.
Oh yeah, the clock's. Then I could argue.
But you're sensitive. I know you, and it's not a bad thing.
The clock's ticking on everybody.
But not Aiyuk. This is where the ink is not dry from the contract that's supposedly coming. That's when you're looking forward to stuff. But when I got to go give my blood, sweat, and tears to you all, and you're going to just treat me like a piece of bad chicken and throw me out
like that,
that would bother you.
I take offense to that. Like, they're not treating him. They're not treating him like a piece of bad chicken.
No, they're not.
They're looking at him and saying, he makes too much money.
Yeah, but
we're going to get his replacement.
But my point is, he knows now those checks are cashing, Steiny, but I'm going to take these hits. And maybe he's like, he doesn't want to do it for a team that's kind of lightweight, telling him the days are numbered. Well, then it's like being in a relationship. I need to talk to you.
Then he ain't a pro. Then he doesn't deserve another big contract.
I'm not mad at that.
Then he's more of the problem than the solution.
I don't expect that. I don't expect him to run. I don't know what he... this is a guy that missed half of a playoff game against the Packers.
Missed half of a playoff game.
Or more. But I'm just saying, Steiny, the Steiny I know, and I'm not putting this on you, I know I would be irritated. I got to show back up, and I know I'm out of here, and they're going to replace me.
That's right.
They just drafted my replacement.
That's right.
But I got to give him the benefit of the doubt. I didn't think that tweet was bad. Like, obviously, I mean, what's he supposed to throw a party? That's all I'm saying.
Every time
your boy put pick,
and I get that because you're still here. You've been ripping Shanahan and Lynch for all the stuff they've been saying and saying you don't believe him or you're not sure. It's like,
well, you told me it was lion season.
Well, what I'm saying is, you really don't think Deebo's?
No, he's irritated.
Okay,
and he probably wants out of here knowing that he's going to be out.
But what do you mean? Like, that tweet doesn't really say. It's like everything in that tweet told me that he's not happy.
Right. That's all.
Exactly.
And I'm saying to you, put yourself in his shoes. Can't you see how a competitor, forget Deebo, showing up to work, going to training camp, knowing I could put up monster numbers and my ass is probably up out of here.
Here's the other thing.
That's what would irritate me.
If he's any good, like in a way, it's like if the Warriors this year in the NBA draft a point guard, like people are going to be like, oh, it's Curry's replacement. It's like, it's not Curry's replacement. It's like, it's just different. Depth at that position. Yeah. And you know what? If they drafted a point guard, what would we say? We'd say the obvious. Well, Steph's 36 years old. Maybe it's time to draft a point guard. Deebo Samuel is essentially maybe on the last year of his contract.
No,
he makes incredible money in a league where the money's not guaranteed. It's like, this is what the NFL is. Like, he's not getting treated any differently than anybody else would in his situation.
925 Steiny. Oh, Guru, poor Deebo has to show up to work and get paid. Oh, I feel so bad. No, I'm not defending D. I can just put myself in his shoes because we all, Steiny, can see that kind of handwriting on the wall.
Okay. You don't think. Who's the guy? Who's the guy?
I'm ready to go, literally, man. Like,
and I just love, and I'm going to say this guy's name a lot because he just started working here. We just hired a guy named Carter Chickering.
Yeah, your guy. I love him.
You don't think there's some kind of plan for him? But you're still going to come into work. I'm going to come into work. Who knows? Who knows why he's in here? Maybe he's in here. Hey.
Well, I'd be worried about Spadoni and Evan before Carter.
He's got a great skill set.
Yeah, I'd be worried about them before Carter.
Okay. Well, see, do you notice how you got to come to work and do your job because there's always somebody ready to replace you.
Yeah, but if my contractor's up and the boss was like, hey, Goo,
it's not up.
But if it were,
you still have a year left at $24 million.
Make the parallel with Deebo. I'm just telling you, D's a competitor.
So if he's a competitor, why is he so scared?
Well, you know about
well, I know that he said it is what it is, and he's fine. He's chilling.
He'll show up to camp and OTAs and voluntary work. Like, I get the end is coming. It feels like that's all for Deebo.
Yeah. Well, I think it's the uncertainty because the first contract you're playing for a contract with your same team.
Yes,
but the uncertainty is being in a contract year, not knowing which team you're going to be on, and how like he could have an all-pro year and then get traded or leave or they cut him and he goes somewhere else. And there's an uncertainty of, all right, how is my skill set going to translate in a different situation?
No doubt.
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
I hope I'm not feeling sorry. I'm not saying I feel sorry. No, I'm just saying,
you know, like this is part of your. It's weird, but I love you. You just hate competition in pro sports, like that. Deebo, like, what if this kid? I'm going to use your phrase. What if Pearsall comes in and just balls out?
Right.
Well, do we have to be beholden to Deebo Samuel if this kid's better than him?
I don't even think he has
to. Gone.
Yeah, and I don't know what guy
NFL.
You work with that you think I hate competition. That's all sports is. What I'm telling you, Steiny, is the fact that they got him in the first round, which some say was a reach. He don't even got a ball out per se. The handwriting's on the wall. The fact that they invested that resource, pick, that's all.
Who was the quarterback when the 49ers took Trey Lance? Was the writing on the wall for him?
But
how'd that work out?
But
if this kid stinks, guess what? You might not move off of Deebo Samuel.
Jimmy did a lot of things by his play, Steiny. Tell me I'm right. Did you lost confidence in him?
My point is so even though they lost confidence in Garoppolo, Trey Lance was still not good enough that he was better than Garoppolo.
Well, he got hurt to lose a spot.
Okay.
But
they traded.
I won't fight you.
My point is like who